7 Lies Anxiety Wants Us to Believe. Beginning your program to manage panic and anxiety. The difference between try and triumph is a little umph. Marvin Phillips. Panic attacks can interfere with your ability to live your life in a way you are accustomed to, as many people start to limit their everyday activities to try to avoid having a future panic attack. In our modern Western way of living, this is simply unacceptable for most people who are busier than ever and trying to get as many things done as possible. Panic attacks do not just feel like a nuisance or interference, they are often described as catastrophic to someone's life. In a culture of busy and get things done, they can grind a person's life to a virtual halt. The first step towards changing this is to get past the lies and gain credible knowledge about the panic and anxiety response. Lie number 1. Something bad is happening. This often sounds like the following in your head. I am losing my mind or going crazy. The truth: having a panic attack is not a sign of going crazy or losing your mind. It is a purely physiological reaction that can feel scary, but is not a sign of losing touch with reality. I am about to die. I am very ill. There must be something physically wrong with me. I am having a heart attack, or there is something wrong with my heart or breathing. The truth: these are the most common thoughts that people who struggle with panic have, and I will now show you how each one is a lie. There are certainly medical conditions that can feel like anxiety and can affect your breathing. If you are a healthy adult who gets regular medical checkups, you should mention these symptoms to your doctor and follow his or her recommendations. After a first panic attack, it is not that uncommon for someone to go to the emergency room, and it is there that physical causes are usually ruled out. If you have had a visit to the emergency room, or have had a physical checkup for these symptoms and have received a clean bill of health, usually your doctor will advise you to treat the anxiety or panic symptoms rather than to continue to focus on the medical side of things. If you would like a second opinion, by all means please get one. All too often, people start seeking third or fourth opinions. This, in my experience, is due to the lie that anxiety is telling you. If you have had 2 medical doctors give you a clean bill of health, then going back to get another opinion is how anxiety steals your time, energy, and attention. The answer at that point is to manage the anxiety or panic. Every single person I have had the privilege of working with who suffered from anxiety or panic has told me that deep down they know whether something is anxiety or a true physical emergency or crisis. This is especially true the more panic or anxiety attacks you have had. No one can be 100% sure they are in perfect physical health, and that is how anxiety takes advantage of your vulnerability. It is probably something that you are willing to accept at most other times, since the only other option is to live in an isolation chamber hooked up to machines that will monitor you around the clock. There is really no need for that. You know exactly what anxiety feels like. You have felt the panic before. You know exactly what the symptoms feel like in your body. And if you are feeling something that is different, that is the only time you need to seek a medical consultation. Lie number 2. I will pass out and embarrass or hurt myself. The truth: it is virtually impossible to pass out during a panic attack. In order to pass out, your blood pressure needs to drop. This is the opposite of what happens during a panic attack. Your blood pressure rises. Of course, anxiety tries to perpetuate this lie by demanding that you feel 100% sure this is not going to happen, which is impossible. We simply cannot rule out the possibility that someone will pass out. However, in this case, it will likely be due to a reason other than having a panic attack. I encourage you to remind yourself that you have an anxiety disorder and not a passing out disorder. Lie number 3, this will never end. In your mind, this lie may sound like this: my day or week is ruined. There we go again, or I will always be controlled by panic, or I feel a little anxious now, but it is probably going to get worse. The truth is that even without any interference or help from us, the maximum panic response duration is about 10 minutes. I understand that this in and of itself may feel like a lifetime, but this is not what most people fear. If you believe that panic will not harm you, you will be in a position to let your body reset without interference from you. If you are still not convinced, you may have believed the following anxiety lie. Lie number 4, anxiety is dangerous or bad for me. The truth: anxiety is not dangerous. Neither is panic. If you are able to get your heart rate up doing routine physical tasks like exercise, then there is absolutely nothing dangerous about your heart rate going up when you have a panic attack. The panic attack we experience in the absence of real-life danger is not life-preserving, it is simply a false alarm. The problem is that it feels identical to the signal you get during a truly dangerous situation. Like any other alarm system, our internal false alarm will sound the same every time it is triggered, even if it gets accidentally tripped. Learning to identify a panic attack as a false alarm will help you in winning the panic attack mind game. Lie number 5, if it makes me anxious I should avoid it. The truth: repeated panic attacks can cause a lot of distress, even when you have been told they will not harm you. For this reason, many people begin to avoid situations that they associate with the onset of anxiety or panic symptoms. These situations can run the gamut of avoiding places where you have had a panic attack, like a car, if you have had a panic attack while driving, to places that you perceive as dangerous because it would be difficult to get help should you need it, like an airplane, subway, or a large crowded mall. Lie number 6, only weak people get panic attacks. The truth: having panic attacks or experiencing anxiety has nothing to do with being weak or strong. In my experience, this is a particularly difficult concept for men, but it can be for women as well. If you believe that experiencing or expressing strong emotions, any emotions, is a sign of weakness, then managing panic or anxiety will be very difficult. I offer an alternative view here. Having emotions, any and all emotions, even strong emotions, simply makes you human and able to appreciate life fully and respond to your experience as it happens. I frequently hear people judging themselves after a diagnosis of panic or anxiety disorder, or even just the experience of strong anxiety symptoms. Consider having hypertension, diabetes, or eczema. Would you judge yourself harshly if you were diagnosed with one of these conditions? How is it different with panic or anxiety? In my view, it is not. You are simply addressing a real-life concern that you have as opposed to sweeping it under the rug and pretending it is not a problem. It takes strength and courage to do that. Lie number 7, I have to know when the next panic attack is coming. The truth: panic creates a sense of urgency. It feels like you need to know for sure when the next attack is coming. Think about the rest of your life for a moment. Do you need to know the next time you will get the flu or a cold? Get stuck in a thunderstorm? Get a flat tire? You may be thinking that although you would like to have this information, it is not necessary and you can get along fine without it. Panic attacks are no different. This is a lie that panic tells you to get you to play by different rules so that it can divert your time, energy, and attention. The next time this happens, try to remind yourself that it is just not possible or necessary to have this information.